Welcome back to my channel. I'm Chloe and today I am here to share with you things no one actually tells you about postpartum and after birth from the point of view of a very positive birth experience. So I want to share my things that no one actually tells you, because I've seen a lot of these videos around and everyone just tells you things that you do already know about. Yes, at one point there were things that people didn't know, but now people just share them all the time, and we do know some of the changes our bodies are going to go through, but usually these are from a point of view of a really negative one, saying, oh my gosh, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. But today I'm here to change that, and I am here to share with you positive things that are going to happen to you or can happen to you after you've had your baby. It's a little bit crazy in here today because we are having our garden done, and yeah, it's just mental. So I'm joined here by a Loki who is running frantically in and out of my bedroom, and I'm also joined by Jessie in the crib as well next to me. So yeah, it's just a little bit crazy, but hopefully we'll be able to get through it anyway. So first off, anyway, I just want to say that it is probably going to be a little bit of a TMI video. So I did also ask over on my Instagram if you had any questions, and it was a no holds barred. You can ask anything, it can be as personal as you like. So I will be sharing those at the end as well, so stay tuned to listen to those. In fact, what I'll do is I'll leave a little timestamp on the screen now of when I'm going to be answering your questions in case you ask one and you're just interested in that part. But like I said, it is going to be a TMI video, so sharing everything. So if you're not comfortable listening to that, mum, dad, if you don't want to know these things, then turn it off now. So we're going to crack straight on anyway, and the first thing we're going to talk about is bleeding afterwards. So I told you it was TMI, and I have made notes on my phone, so I'm just going to be referring back to those. After you've given birth, you will have a period. I think everybody knows this by now because your body has been home to a baby for the last like 9 to 10 months or however long it has been for you, and yeah, that blood's got to go somewhere, so it is going to come out like a normal period. And the one thing that I want to say that no one actually told me was that it can be fine, like it can be normal. I thought it was going to be the worst period of my life. I thought it was going to be really heavy. I thought I'd be soaking through pads and coming through to my underwear and having loads of leaks. I'm here to tell you it can be not that bad. So for me, I would say that it was, yeah, I would say that it was no more than a moderate period, and it only lasted like maximum of 2 weeks for me. So obviously everyone's body and everyone is going to react differently. So obviously everyone's body is different and everyone's going to react differently, but for me that's how it was, and it can be that way for you too. So don't be put off thinking you're going to bleed really heavily and it's going to go on for 6 weeks. Obviously that can happen, but it might not. It didn't for me. Are you okay, baby boy? Would you like to come on with me? Oh, I've been joined by a little Jessie bum. Hi. Is that a big light? Good boy, Loki. And then to go along with that is the cramping and after pains afterwards. So a lot of people told me, oh, the after pains are just as bad, like it'll feel like you're having a baby all over again. But for me, again, it was nothing more than mild to moderate period pains, like just really little cramps. Nothing that couldn't be taken off with a couple of paracetamol, definitely. And these aren't constant either. So a lot of people was like, oh, if you're breastfeeding, the after pains will be like really intense, but they weren't really. So yeah, occasionally I did feel them when I was breastfeeding, but it wasn't every time that I fed him. It was just really random. There was no kind of pattern to it. Pardon you. So yeah, don't be scared about having the worst period of your life, because I've definitely had worse ones than the one I did after giving birth. Another one now, which is a topic I don't really talk about. I don't really talk about toilet habits with a lot of people, just because I feel like they're a bit of a private matter really. We're going to talk about them today. So everyone told me that the first time you go to the toilet for a number 2 after giving birth will be an experience, and told me it would be painful, yes, and they told me it would be traumatic, but it wasn't, was it? Not at all. So I actually went within a couple of hours of giving birth and it really wasn't that bad at all. So I was really like nervous to go, and I was actually like, oh no, I need to go to the toilet, and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be horrendous, it's going to be really painful. It wasn't, was it? It was literally just like going to the toilet any other time. So going to the toilet after you've had a baby can be completely normal. Nothing to be afraid of. It can just feel like you go for a normal poo. Now onto something else that no one told me that you could experience after giving birth, was that you can be ravenous. So after I had Jessie, I was starving. Let's not even say after I had him. While I was in labour, I was hungry. I really wanted to eat so much. I think you've seen it on my birth vlog when I'm in the middle of pushing and I'm actually eating a Twix because I was just like, I want more food. And I actually think I had some kind of snack bar as well. And I actually kept asking asking for more and more food, and they were like, we can't give you any more food right now because you're about to actually give birth, you know, you need to take a break and just concentrate on this now. Yeah, I was just so hungry. So then when I finally got some food after I'd had him, oh my gosh, I just accepted everything. I remember pardon you. I remember him offering me like the standard tea and toast, but they also had a couple of other options, and I was like, yes. So I ended up having a hot chocolate, Cocoa Pops, 2 slices of jam on toast, and then I had my own Snacker Jacks, and I think I had a snack bar as well. So I had that. That must have been about 8 o'clock. So I had him at like early hours. It was 4:37 when I had him. So then I had, like I said, the breakfast. It must have been about 7, 8 o'clock. Once I'd been stitched up and we'd had a bit of skin to skin and all that. So yeah, I had breakfast, and then at dinner time, I think it was literally about 12 o'clock, I had a big sandwich and some more Snacker Jacks, I think, and I just kept eating and eating and eating. And then that night we had a Domino's pizza, and we had 2 pizzas and I think some sides as well. So are you listening to Mummy talk? Are you listening, you cutie? Yeah, so I just remember being absolutely starving, and no one told me that. So I did pack snacks in the hospital bag, but I would say pack more snacks than you think you need, because yeah, I was just so hungry. And if you are in a hospital or a birth centre and they offer you food and drink, take it. Take it all. The next thing that nobody told me after birth is that your hair and nails can stay really nice and luscious. So during pregnancy, my nails became really strong and they started growing loads, and since having him they've stayed exactly the same, haven't they? They've stayed lovely and strong, and they're getting long. I need to cut them down all the time so that I don't scratch him. And then also my hair got lovely and thick during pregnancy, and it stays like that. So a lot of people talk about losing the hair, but I'm like almost 5 months in now and I've still not lost any. We're still going really strong. And to go alongside of this as well, no one then told me like the positive effects it can actually have on your hair. So because of all the hormone changes that you're going through, you can actually have a change in hair texture. Bless you! I recently found this out after doing some research, because the back of my hair was getting like really wavy, like almost curly, like when I was a teenager. So obviously when you're a teenager you go through hormonal changes, and my hair was always really wavy. Then as I've got older, the more I've dyed it, it just kind of just had a kink to it, whereas from the root where it's growing in fresh again now, it's got proper wavy. Your hair texture may completely change, and it is very common for you to have wavy hair before pregnancy and for it to go poker straight, or vice versa. Sometimes it can change back, sometimes it's a breastfeeding thing, and when you stop breastfeeding it might revert back to how it was before, or sometimes it's a permanent change. And this is something I did not know and I have never heard talked about, but I've recently found that out, and yeah, I'm living for the new wavy curly hair. Hi Vivi, you're so good. You're so cool, aren't you? Mwah. And yeah, I think what I'm trying to say from this video is that people often tell you all about the negative things that can happen postpartum. There's so many amazing good things that can happen after birth as well, and it's not all scary. And me and Lee were actually just on a walk before this talking about all the different things, and there's so many that I could share with you. The overarching theme of it is that you can have a really positive after birth. Just like everyone's birth is different, everyone's after birth is going to be different too. So don't be afraid of all these things that could or might happen. Just focus on all the good things that are happening. Like I say, I was going to have a whole range of other ones, but I just don't feel like they're that important. I feel like these are like the main ones. So we're going to go straight ahead and talk about the questions that I've got now. So I am going to keep them anonymous in case someone is embarrassed about what they've asked. I think I only got a couple, so here we go. So the first one is, does it feel lonely having a baby during the pandemic? And oh, big sigh. Do you think it feels lonely? And I don't think this is a very straightforward answer. I think it's probably quite twofold in that, yes, because I would much prefer to be going out and meeting new mums and meeting new friends for Jessie, and even though we've got Jessie and Leah at a home and we do have a bubble of my family as well, that we are having that other interaction with people. So it's not lonely in that aspect, but it is in terms of just get used to the same like 4 people or whatever it is around you. So even though you're not lonely because you do have other people around you, it's lonely in terms of you just want to be going out meeting new people. But we can't really change that aspect, can we? So one thing I have been doing this week is I've tried the new app Peanut. I've heard a lot about it on social media, so I thought I'd give it a go, and I have been chatting to a few new mums on there as well. So we just have to find other ways to do things, don't we? And then the second question is a TMI one, and it's, how's your bits now? Have they fully healed? So Dad, if you did keep watching, you definitely want to turn this off now, but I would say they are are probably like 90% healed, I'd want to say. It's difficult to say because I had an episiotomy and that has, I believe, fully healed now. So that healed quite quickly. So for anyone who doesn't know, if you're watching this video, you probably do know, but you might not. So an episiotomy is where they cut you. So this guy had quite a big head and he had his hand up by his face. So he was having some trouble coming out. So they gave me, I want to say a little cut, but it's to my bum cheek. So they cut you from, well, it depends, but they cut the perineum basically. So they cut you and it really depends like how big your cut's going to be, but they cut the perineum and mine went into my butt cheek because they cut me and then I was pushing still and they were like, give her another centimetre. So they cut me even further and it went onto like my skin. So the healing process for that was a little bit sore, but again, nothing on some paracetamol couldn't manage, and I was just wary when I was sitting down and things like that. But I believe that healed really quickly. I think maybe like 3 weeks until that was healed, and now like almost 5 months after, it is completely healed. The scar is like a purple colour and going almost white, so that's good. Then like my actual bits, it's really hard to say. So I have had a look, obviously, because I've been looking at my scar, and down there doesn't look like how it used to look, but I don't know if it will ever go back to being how it was. Like this is just something that's not really talked about. So I feel like my body has healed probably about 90%. I don't know if it will, like I say, if it will ever heal that last 10% or not, but I don't feel like if this is how it stayed now that it would be a bad thing, because I don't suffer like any incontinence or anything like that. The thing I say about this is because when I look in the mirror, it does, I'll just say it looks more open and you can see more inside of you, and I don't know if that will ever fix, but I'm just making sure that I do my pelvic floor exercises, and I actually have a very strong pelvic floor and core, so I've got that going for me at least. Are you hungry, baby? He's chewing down on my hand, he's ready for some food now. But yeah, so I don't know if that will ever get better, if it will just take time, but I'm not suffering any incontinence or any pain or any issues like that. So in my mind, I believe that if it was to stay like that, then that would be okay. But again, it's not something that's really talked about, so I don't know if it is or not, but that's how I see things in my mind anyway. And let's go there, let's go the full hog. Sorry, this is gonna like make you flush, mum. Me and my mum had a conversation weeks after having Jessie, and we talked about having sex, and she was like, one way to check that your pelvic floor is working is when you're ready to be intimate with your partner again, is when you're having sex to just squeeze your pelvic floor and ask them if they can feel it. And me and Lee did do that and he can feel it, so apparently it is working. And another thing, I also have like looked in the mirror when I'm doing it as well, and I can see it working. There's no pain when we are intimate or anything like that. It was, I don't want to say painful at first, but you just felt it. It was like you're having sex for the first time again basically, but there has been no like intense pain or bleeding or anything like that. So that's probably another thing as well, like everyone scares you saying that the first time you have sex after you've had a baby is going to be like traumatic and an issue, and I think I'd worked it up in my mind and it just wasn't as bad as what people were going to make it out to be. So yeah, that's our TMI chat for today. Hope you've enjoyed watching, but we're just going to leave it there. Just keep it nice and short and sweet, although it might not be by the time I've edited it all together. But in my mind, it's nice and short and sweet. Just a couple key things that I think will help you to have a more positive birth experience because you're not scared about what's to come afterwards. But we are going to go now because this guy is definitely ready for feeding. He's chewing my hand off. Aren't you, Jessie? Are you a cutie? Are you hungry? Is it milk time? So I hope you have all enjoyed watching. Please make sure to give it a big thumbs up if you have. Giving it a thumbs up is just something that is so easy for you to do. It is free, it takes a second to click, but it really helps me out. It lets me know what videos you like to watch of mine, and it also tells YouTube that you like watching my videos too, and it'll recommend me to more people. So make sure you've done that, and then I'll see you on the next video. Bye! Hey baby! Should we get you some milk then? Come on.